Why not?
You know, a war by any other name would be as brutal as long as they are raining death and destruction on ISIS from above. I don't care what they call it. As long as there's a major military operation to punish them on the scale of shock and awe. I want Raqqa in Syria, their main base. I want it pulverized. I want the bases outside of Mosul and northern Iraq pulverized. Shock and awe. I want the drones unleashed on their leadership. I want the F-18s and the F-16s to rain death from above. I want ISIS crushed. If you want to call it a play game or, you talk
about bases.
Call it anything you want to. I don't care.
You talk about bases, a lot of bases. Is this just the president protecting his own base, his own liberal base, and not calling it war after war? After all, he's the anti-war president. He ran on that.
It sounds so, Clayton. I hate to think that their motives are so petty, but it could very well be that they feel that they can hide behind a semantic veil. But to me, and to I think the GIs out there now, it is only semantics. They know what they are facing, and they know what they must mete out to the enemies of our country.
You would think that the administration, when asking the entire nation really to commit to this, something so serious and so costly, that they would call it what it is. But you say that semantics veil. It's something that we've seen in the past from this administration. How about this wordplay here? War on ISIS, as we heard from John Kerry, counterterrorism operation. War on terror, overseas contingency operation. War in Libya, kinetic military operation, and Fort Hood, the shooting there. Workplace violence.
These kinds of rhetorical wordplay are disheartening, but I don't think they're terribly substantive. We know what it is. We know what it is we must do. As you know, I've said on this couch, would have preferred a constitutional congressional declaration of war against this quasi-de facto state. The president sought to downplay their status as a state. He said, no, they're not a state. They're not even Islamic. They're a terrorist organization. The fact of the matter is, the president, I believe, is incorrect. They control geographic area, the size of Connecticut. They have a massive presence there. I think that we have to treat them as if it were a state and as if this was an all-out war.
Words aside, let's talk about the operation. Right now we're sending scouting runs of drones to find out the targets to hit in Syria. We know that we have at least 9 coalition partners, or do we? Turkey says, I'm not too sure, I'm in. Saudi Arabia says, I'll train 450 Syrian fighters, perhaps. Britain says, don't count on me. Germany says, don't count on me. So who do we have next to us? Who do we need? What does this mission look like?
We don't need anybody is the short answer to that, with the exception of the Brits. The others that I've seen, the coalition forces, with all due respect, a lot of them are terrifically motivated, but they get in the way.
I'll take the French airstrikes. I'll send the check. Give me the checkbook.
Why? When we know where the enemy is, let us do it. You really want them in the air where you have to coordinate with I don't think you need that. What I would like to do, and people say we need Turkey because we need those air bases. Why don't we right now commit to reoccupying Camp Victory in Baghdad, let the United States retake over that base right by the airport in Baghdad. So you take over that base. You don't need anybody else. Now you're not relying solely on your aircraft carriers in the Gulf. Now you have the main air base back. You can secure that. Even with the measly number of troops we have committed there, you can secure that base. You put the most trustworthy Iraqi armed forces around the perimeter. The base becomes the United States property. From there, we can hammer them. We can hammer them. You can have a flight every 5 minutes. Here comes another one. You can have the drones and everything else. Retake Balad outside of Tikrit. Take that big air base that was very, very secure. We can, by securing those air bases, rain death and destruction on this enemy, punish them for their act of war against us and beheading our citizens.
It's outrageous that all these countries that are affected by ISIS, who their citizens are going over to fight for ISIS, won't even put jets in the air out of embarrassment.
Why are you shocked? As if this was a moral outrage. These are noodle backbone people.
Not the Brits and the French can fight. The French have good air power.
I tell you, we know who this enemy. Let's say the CIA is right. Let's say there's 30,000.
That's what they're saying
ISIS
today.
force. That's like a division and a half. 30,000. They have to have fixed bases. The air power of the United States, the Air Force, the Army, and the Navy, the Marines, we have enough air power. We can pulverize and punish. I think that it's not. We will degrade and we will destroy.